What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Force here with another Diablo 3 Barbarian build. Today we will be taking a look at the build that I'm using for solo farming Hell and Inferno difficulty in the game. The build is focused around staying alive as long as possible, dealing damage and self-healing. First, we're going to start off by taking a look at the passives. All of the passives that I've picked are fairly self-explanatory. We're going with Nerves of Steel, Tough as Nails, and Superstition. This is all just based around surviving, living as long as possible, boosting up your armor increased by 100% of your vitality through Nerves of Steel, Tough as Nails increasing your base armor by 25% and also increasing the thorns damage that you deal, and then lastly Superstition reducing all non-physical damage by 20% and also giving you extra fury whenever you take damage from a ranged or elemental attack. That's not the biggest thing. The biggest part of Superstition for us in this build is just the 20% damage reduction from non-physical damage. Now let's take a look firstly at the basic primary attack. We're going with Frenzy with Sidearm. Now with Frenzy, this is obviously having that increased attack speed is great. This is going to be good single target damage, pretty vital that you have something in your build that has good single target damage, especially in Inferno and you're dealing with rare and champion packs. You really need a strong single target. You can't be all AoE focused or else you're pretty much never going to kill anything. So Frenzy with Sidearm, throwing in Sidearm actually adds, it's not technically an AoE, but the weapon that's thrown off a Sidearm can pierce through multiple targets, and if you have a clumped up group, that you can actually take out multiple targets at once or at least do significant damage. Now you add Ground Stomp with Wrenching Smash to that, which pulls everyone in towards you, and all of a sudden if you get a few procs off of Frenzy with Sidearm, you're taking out a lot of targets pretty quickly. So you've got the Frenzy, that's your basic damage. It's a primary single target attack that has that benefit from the rune effect of doing damage to multiple enemies. Ground Stomp, basic control, absolutely vital, having that stun and then having the additional benefit of throwing everyone in towards you once you Ground Stomp with the Wrenching Smash rune. And then the next damage ability that we're looking at is Revenge. Now this is really strong, especially for solo and a tanky style build, which is what we have here. Revenge allows you to self-heal. Now going with the Provocation rune, it makes it so that you can proc more often. Now some may say, why instead of that, if you're focused on self-heal, why not go for the rune that lets you actually heal for more? Well, the problem is that if you were to decide to go for Vengeance is Mine, sure it's good and sure you get extra health back, but you're still only proccing 15% of the time when you're hit. I much rather have less healing and having it proc more often than the other way around. Also with this, you're able to do more damage. The more often Revenge procs, the more damage that you're doing, and in turn the more healing that you're going to get from that. Of course, next we have the Wrath of the Berserker. Now with Wrath of the Berserker, this is going to be primarily used for taking out those rare and champion packs. Whenever you come across a very difficult enemy or even just a boss, for example. Whenever you come across a boss or a rare or champion pack, Wrath of the Berserker is going to be pretty much the first thing that you want to do. You want to throw that up, get as much damage as possible, as fast as possible, and just try to take them out before Wrath of the Berserker disappears. Now I'm going with the Insanity rune effect for that, for 100% base additional damage while Wrath of the Berserker is active, so that is a solid 15 seconds with 100% more damage. I find that personally to be the strongest. You could use a different particular rune effect, but I think that that's the best, and Wrath of the Berserker, pretty necessary in this build for taking out those rare and champion packs. Next key skill that we are going to be looking at is Furious Charge. Absolutely love this, especially with the Dreadnought rune effect. Extra healing, you can path right through enemies. The healing is really huge. If you line up a group, you're getting pretty low. You Ground Stomp if necessary, line up a group of enemies, and then Furious Charge right through them. It's almost going to fill you up, that right there. On top of the fact that you're likely to pick up health globes that are in that group, because a lot of times you'll be surrounded by people, there'll be health globes that you can't really get to. So Furious Charging right through them, getting that healing from that, and then getting any additional healing from health globes you pick up. Really awesome as well. Alright guys, so this is just an example of the current solo Barbarian tanky style play that I've been using for farming in Hell and Inferno difficulty. I find this to be really strong. Hopefully you guys liked it as well. I'll make a few amendments. Obviously you can change things to your liking. Overall I feel this to be a very strong build. A good example is, say you're not deciding to go through Inferno right away and you want to farm in Hell a little bit, but you don't need as much defensive. Maybe take away some of the passive skills, maybe take away, say, Tough as Nails or Superstition, and replace it with something like Berserker Rage. Now the reason I'm saying Berserker Rage is because I'm sure you'll notice in this build, there aren't really any Fury dumps. The only Fury dump, really, that we have here is actually Wrath of the Berserker. That's the only one that cost anything, and you're only using that every 2 minutes at most. So you'll have max Fury a lot of the time, so if you're in a situation where you don't need as much survivability and you want to do more damage, possibly consider taking a look at that, getting that extra damage from that passive skill. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Stay tuned in the future for more builds from me, and we are going to start looking into getting builds from the other character classes as well in the very near future, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again, guys. If you like the content, please subscribe. Also check out the website, forstrategygaming.com, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.